Hidden down a medieval sunken lane to the west of Derby is an intriguing structure with surprisingly little known about it. It is all that remains of Mackworth House that was built around the same time, often referred to as Mackworth Castle. The name has stuck with this grand gatehouse. But is it really a castle, or is it a fascination with a bygone era reincarnated into more modern architecture to evoke a sense of grandeur and power? The Grade 1 listed buttressed Cooper sandstone gatehouse comprises 2 stories with a possible roof terrace. There are small turrets on either corner that, like the walls, are crenellated. The facade houses a hooded central gateway once leading onto a now buried medieval track. The archway would have been flanked by rooms that once led to the gatekeeper's guard chamber on the upper floor. These parts have long since been replaced by much more modern and practical brick sheds. Evidence that an upper floor existed and the building wasn't simply an empty shell remains as a fireplace with its chimney visible on the front wall. The archway features decorated stonework with carved stone heads. Above this are gargoyle waterspouts and 3 equally spaced windows. It was built by the somewhat powerful de Mackworth family, who rose to power around the same time this estate was built. They dabbled in religion, politics, law and civil war. I'll provide a link below. The castle's website states that it may have been built between 1495 and 1500, but dates are unclear. The now long gone fortified manorial complex that it was once a part of could have been started as early as August 1404, when the Mackworth brothers were granted the right to bear arms. This newer cluster of buildings, referred to at the time as a capital mansion, likely replaced some 11th century structures, and the site's history goes back to at least the Romans. Almost the entire village of Mackworth is listed as historically significant by Historic England. The Mackworths remained here until 1655, giving the small village its name. Mackworth was actually first mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086 under the name of MacCord. Apologies about pronunciation. It was actually not the separate village it is today, but governed as part of the nearby estate of Mark Eaton. It wasn't for another 100 years before Mackworth began to flourish as a separate hamlet. Now, is it a castle? Well, in short, no. Quite an easy giveaway other than date is the thickness of the walls. Although this is not an infallible method, in the case of Mackworth it is quite certain they would be unable to withstand even a bit of low-level punishment. The walls are less than 2 foot thick. The nearby Duffield Castle's walls are up to 15 feet thick, and that was destroyed. On the ground floor either side of the arch are gun loops or arrow slits. Both weapons were still in use in this period. In reality, these are far too narrow to be of much use. Another small indication of it being ornamental is the gate once opened inwards. Fortified gates generally opened outwards to make them more resistant to battering devices. The final nail in the coffin I'll mention is that the land directly in front of the gatehouse in parts overlooks it. The idea of a castle is a romantic one, but sadly, like Throwley Hall I showed you the other day, although Mackworth provides a military aspect, it would be practically indefensible. Not only does it lack some sort of boundary wall to stop it being outflanked in an attack, looking at the sides it was not even a fully enclosed structure, meaning once it was outflanked, it was fully exposed. Mackworth Gatehouse is simply an expensive facade, but still with a fascinating history to boot.